Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to swap out the backstrap for your CZ P10 C. Your CZ P10 C came with multiple backstraps, and if let's say the one that's currently installed just doesn't fit you right, you could swap it out for either a larger or a smaller one. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Keep in mind this video is strictly for maintenance or repair only. But before we get started, I like to ask everybody to please subscribe and tell a friend about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Now let's get on with the video. So the things you're going to need to perform this is a roll of duct tape or painter's tape. You could also use an armor's block, but the reason why I'm going to use this is because I figured more people are going to have a roll of duct tape or painter's tape in their house versus an armor's block. The other thing you're going to need is a hammer of some sort, preferably one with a soft side and the hard side, and you're going to need a 5/64 punch to do this. As you can see, I had the grip here with no slide and no magazine. If you need help getting to this part, what you could do is click on the link to the top right hand corner, and that'll take you to a video showing you how to field strip your CZ P10. Once you get to this part, come back to this video and follow along. I was told that it doesn't matter what side you push the pin out, so what we're going to do is we're just going to use this side. We're going to place the grip onto the roll of painter's tape, and we're going to make sure that this hole is not on the painter's tape, so this way the pin has somewhere to go. And we're going to kind of keep it right there. Next, we're going to take the punch and we're going to place it into this hole right here. One tip I can give you is make sure that the punch is straight up and down. You don't want the punch to be on an angle in any way because it'll make it harder to punch out that pin. So try to make sure it's nice and straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these fingers to brace the grip, and we're going to use these two fingers, my pointer finger and my thumb, to hold on to the punch while we tap it out with the hammer. Now we can take the hammer and we can start tapping out this pin. So how I like to tap out the pins are I do 2 taps and then a hard strike on the punch. It'll look something like this. Tap, tap, and then hit. You can see that the pin is coming out. It's going to take a few more taps. Take the punch out. Here's the pin, and you can see it like has teeth on it, so that's why it's a little harder for this pin to be pushed out. So from here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold the grip in your hand like this, and you're going to want to push with your 2 thumbs, pushing towards the bottom of the grip. So it's just going to be like that, and it'll slide right off. So my tip to you is trying the backstrap that you think will fit, sliding that on. Don't put the pin in yet, and just see how it feels in your hand. If it feels good, great, then put the pin back in, you're good to go. If it doesn't, then at least it gives you an opportunity to take off that backstrap and try another one to see which one fits best before you go through all the trouble of putting the pin back in. In my case, I'm going to stick with the one I had, which is the medium, and I'm just going to put that back on. So looking at the grip module, you can see you have these 2 pieces right here. And on the actual backstrap, you can see that there's these 2 openings right here. Those 2 are going to slide onto that piece, and you're going to slide it all the way up. Another way of knowing which way to put it on is that the circle where the pin goes will be near the bottom. So it's going to look something like this. So I'm going to put this on. Once you get past the bottom portion, you're going to want to make sure that the top is towards the grip. So this way it could slide on these 2 rails right here. We're going to slide it all the way up and make sure it's up as far as possible. When you're looking through this hole, you want to make sure that the hole is making a complete circle, because if it's slightly off like this, where the hole isn't really making a perfect circle, then the backstrap isn't pushed all the way up. So what you want to do is you want to push all the way up until the backstrap is as far as it can go up. Then you can look through it and it should make a perfect circle like this. That tells you that this hole where the pin needs to go into is completely opened and the backstrap is seated properly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pin and we're going to install it into the backstrap. So the other thing to note here is that it doesn't matter which side of the pin goes back in first. So it can be either side, and it can go into either side of the backstrap, this side or this side. so it doesn't really matter. A little trick of what I like to do is I like to start pushing the pin in with my hands first before I start tapping it in with the punch and the hammer. So how I do that is by taking the pin, and I usually wrap something like cloth around it, and I push it into the hole. When I'm putting the pin in, I want to make sure that the pin is straight. I don't want it to be on any angle because that's going to make it harder for you to get the pin into the hole. So you want to make sure it's nice and straight. So what I do is I take some kind of cloth, I start it into the hole. So I get the pin started just like that. Next, what I like to do is I like to take my magazine. I like to get a few layers of cloth, soft cloth. I like to put it against the magazine. So this way, when I put this piece against here, it's got something hard to push against. And then this cloth will help not scratch the magazine. So this is also going to help us get the pin to go in a little bit further without tapping anything in yet. So I'm going to push this in. Okay. Felt it move in a little bit. So see, it's going in. There you go, it's almost done. So as you can see, we're pretty much almost all the way in. So now I can set aside the magazine and the cloth, and now we can just tap the pin in the rest of the way. So what we do is now we take our punch, same thing that we did before. We're going to make sure that the punch is directly onto the pin, making sure that the punch is not on any angles. It's just straight onto the pin. So this way it makes it easier for you to push that pin in. Also, if it's on an angle, there's more chances of you slipping off and marring the grip. So again, we're going to make sure it's as straight as possible. So I set the grip onto the painter's tape. So we're making sure the punch is directly onto the pin. So now that I'm directly onto the pin, I'm not on any angles, I'm going to take my hammer and I'm just going to tap this in. And I'm going to do it the same way that I did it when I tapped it out, which is 2 taps and a hard hit. So here we go. Felt it move. Still needs to be put in a little bit more. So you can see the pin has been pushed in far enough because the pin is slightly below the surface on this side, and it's also slightly below on this side. So we are good to go. Congratulations, you have successfully swapped out your backstrap for the CZ P10 C. At this point, you can put everything back together and you should be good to go. If you thought the video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and tell a friend about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.